$3 billion. That's how much Centrelink paid out last financial year to people who had absolutely no idea they were entitled to it, only after they finally asked. $3 billion. And that's just the amount they tracked. The amount that went unclaimed entirely, nobody knows. Because you can't count money that was never applied for. So here's the question worth sitting with for a second. What if there's money allocated in your name right now, sitting in a government system, waiting for you to ask for it, and you've just never asked? Most Australians hear the word Centrelink and immediately think, not for me. That's for people who can't work. That's welfare. That's someone else's thing. And that instinct, that deeply Australian instinct to not ask for help, to not seem like you need it, is costing working families thousands of dollars a year. Money that was budgeted. Money that's already been allocated by Parliament. Money that doesn't go back to anyone if you don't claim it. It just disappears into consolidated revenue and gets spent somewhere else. This episode is not about welfare. It's about entitlements. There's a difference, and it matters. An entitlement is money the government has decided you should receive because of your specific circumstances, your income, your family structure, your job, your age, your health. You paid taxes that funded this system. These payments exist because policymakers decided people in your situation deserve support, not charity. Policy. The problem is the system was designed by bureaucrats, not communicators. The names are confusing. The eligibility rules are buried in government websites that read like legal documents. And nobody, not your employer, not your accountant, not your financial planner, has a financial incentive to sit you down and walk you through what you might be missing. So most people just never find out. Let's fix that right now. First up, family tax benefit. And before you switch off, hear this out. Family tax benefit. Part A is one of the most widely underclaimed payments in Australia, and it's not just for low-income families. A couple with 2 kids can earn up to $117,000 combined and still receive some amount of family tax benefit Part A. Not the full amount, but something. Even a partial payment adds up. Over 12 months, that can be $2,000, $3,000. Sometimes more depending on the kids' ages. That's real money. Family tax benefit. Part B is different again. It's designed for single income families or families where the second earner brings in less than $100, $900. If your household dropped to one income, maybe someone went part-time, maybe someone's on parental leave, and you haven't checked your eligibility recently, there's a very real chance you're leaving money on the table. Here's where people trip up. They check once, don't qualify, and never look again. But eligibility changes. You had another kid. Your income dropped, your circumstances shifted. The rule is simple. Check every year. It takes 15 minutes on the Services Australia website and a MyGov login. That's it. Second payment that working Australians consistently miss, the low income tax offset and its cousin, the low and middle income tax offset. Now, technically these come through your tax return, not Centrelink directly, but they're part of the same ecosystem of entitlements that Australians underclaim. If you're earning between $37,000 and $126,000, there are offset mechanisms in the tax system reducing how much you owe, or increasing your refund. And most people don't realise the size of what they're getting, or more importantly, whether their employer's PAYG withholding is set up correctly to account for them. Third one, and this is the one that genuinely surprises people, the JobSeeker payment. Not for unemployed people, for people who are employed. Wait, what? JobSeeker has a part payment system. If you're a casual worker, a contractor, a freelancer, or someone whose income fluctuates week to week, and you have a week or a fortnight where your income drops below certain thresholds, you may be eligible for a partial JobSeeker payment for that period. The threshold currently sits around $1,300 per fortnight for singles before payments reduce to zero. Most casuals and freelancers don't know this exists. They think JobSeeker is all or nothing. It's not. It's income tested, which means you can work and still receive a partial payment. The catch is the reporting. You have to report your income every fortnight through the app, which means you have to be set up in the system before you need it, not after. The time to apply is when you're earning normally, not the week you're short, because Centrelink processing times are what they are. Fourth, the carer allowance. This one deserves its own episode, and it's getting one. But the short version, if you provide daily care to someone with a disability, a serious illness, or an age-related condition, and that includes a child with ADHD, autism, or developmental delay, you may qualify for up to $153 per fortnight. Tax-free, just for being a carer, no means test. Your income doesn't matter. What matters is the care you provide and a supporting assessment from a doctor. In 2024, the Australian Institute of Health and Welfare estimated that nearly 3 million Australians provide informal care. Family members, partners, parents of kids with additional needs. The number of people actually receiving carer allowance, under 800,000. That gap is enormous. And it's not because the rest don't qualify. It's because nobody told them to apply. Now let's zoom into something specifically Australian that most people completely miss: the stacking of payments. Here's what that means. Multiple Centrelink payments can run simultaneously. People think it's one or the other. It's not. You can receive Family Tax Benefit A and Family Tax Benefit B at the same time. You can receive carer allowance while also receiving Family Tax Benefit. You can receive the Childcare Subsidy on top of both of those. You can receive rent assistance as a supplement to another base payment if you're renting and your income qualifies. The system isn't designed to tell you this. It's designed to process what you apply for. So if you only apply for one thing, you only get one thing. The people who end up with the full picture are the ones who either got lucky and had a great social worker, or the ones who spent hours on the Services Australia website reading every single payment description. There is a faster way. Call Centrelink directly. Yes, the hold times are brutal, but ask specifically, based on my family situation and income, can you tell me every payment I might be eligible for? That question, asked directly, puts the obligation on the staff member to do the assessment. Not all of them will do it thoroughly, but some will, and one conversation could unlock payments you'd never have found on your own. The MyGov Payment Finder tool is also underused. Go to servicesaustralia.gov.au, find the Payment and Service Finder, and spend 20 minutes inputting your real situation honestly. It'll surface things you haven't considered. It's not perfect, but it's better than guessing. Now let's talk about the Childcare Subsidy specifically, because this one has a cliff edge that catches families completely off guard. The Childcare Subsidy is income tested. A family earning under $80,000 gets up to 90% of their childcare fees covered. That slides back as income rises, and it cuts out entirely at higher thresholds. But here's what trips people up. The income test uses your combined family income, and it uses an estimate at the start of the year. If your income changes, someone gets a pay rise, picks up extra shifts, changes jobs, and you don't update your estimate, you can end up with a debt at the end of the year. Centrelink overpays you through the year and then recovers it in a lump sum. This is not a small number for some families. Some people find out at tax time that they owe Centrelink $5,000 because their income estimate was out. The fix is simple. Update your income estimate the moment anything changes. Do it in the MyGov app. It takes 3 minutes and it can save you thousands. Here's the Australian angle that really ties this together. Australia's social support system was designed in an era when people had single employers, stable incomes, and traditional family structures. The gig economy, casual work, blended families, carers, juggling part-time work, none of that fits neatly into the old model. So the system hasn't caught up to the way Australians actually live, which means the onus is entirely on you to understand the rules, apply proactively, and update your details when your life changes. That's the game. It's not a fair game, but it's the one being played, and the people who understand it are collecting thousands of dollars more per year than the people who assume the system will tap them on the shoulder. The last thing to say on this, and it matters, is the shame piece. There is a specific flavour of Australian stubbornness that says, I don't need government money, I earn my own way. And that instinct is admirable in the right context. But these payments were funded by your taxes and the taxes of every working Australian before you. They were designed for people in your exact situation. Claiming them isn't weakness, it's literacy. Financial literacy, go to servicesaustralia.gov.au and run the payment finder tonight, not next week. Tonight, input your actual income, your actual family situation, your actual circumstances. See what comes up. If you find something that surprises you, and there's a reasonable chance you will, the application process is online. It's free and the payments are backdated in some cases. That's where the hidden yield is. Not in some complicated investment strategy. Sometimes it's just in knowing to ask. More at hiddenyield.com.au. Quick reminder, everything you just heard is general information only, not personal financial advice. It doesn't take into account your personal circumstances, objectives, or financial situation. Always chat to a qualified, licensed professional before making any financial decisions. Now go get more. hiddenyield.com.au.